Greetings out of Africa for our newsletter for September 2020. What a time in history to be part of a great story. As all of us worldwide are relying so heavily upon God our Father's faithfulness, there is a unique opportunity for all of us to actually also display some of that faithfulness. I think a simple definition for faithfulness would perhaps be to maintain faith or to show a high level of awareness, of duty or conscientiousness. Hands at Work in Africa, our partners all over the world and just a global family and friends of Hands at Work have got such a unique opportunity right now to display this faithfulness as we stay laser focused on the most vulnerable children and the grannies and widows in Africa. As we continue to pray, to give and to speak on behalf of these children that we know by name. To be faithful expects of us to stand in the midst of life's storms. And actually not just to survive, but to produce an abundant harvest. That's what I love about our watchword for 2020. This word just speaks so deeply into the current situation. And of course, it's the parable that Jesus told about the seed and a different kind of soils. Now we know the seed is God's word and the different kind of soils represent our hearts. In Mark chapter 4, verse 19 and 20, we read the watchword. But the worries of life, the deceitfulness of riches, and the desires for other things came and choked the word, making it unfruitful. While other seed fell on good soil, heard the word, accepted and produced an harvest 30, 60 or 100-fold according to what was sown. So when we consider the words, the worries about life, the deceitfulness of riches and the desires for other things, and how that came and actually choked that seed and made it unfruitful. And we look around us in the world at the moment, it's evident everywhere. So in Hands, we chose, according to this watchword that God gave us, not to make that an option. As we stay focused to be in that gap for the most vulnerable children and grannies, who by the way are becoming more vulnerable every day, we choose to latch onto the latter part of the watchword. So in verse 20 we read, other seeds fell on good soil and it produced a harvest after it heard the word and it accepted it. So when the COVID crisis came, Hands at Work became determined that we actually want to run towards the problem. We wanted to look the problem in the eye with confidence that our Father is with us. One of the most exciting opportunities that we saw during this COVID crisis was our ability to go back and dig deeper into God's Word and to rediscover some of the most amazing stories in the Bible, written in the midst of huge crises. And every one of them proved God's faithfulness towards His children. What we love about this is that we took one story and it was applicable to everyone, from the child to the partner, wherever they are all over the world. Because the story is so relevant and so rich that all of us could contextualize it and apply it in our current situation. Another exciting opportunity that opened up for us was just to enhance food security in some of our communities. We developed big community gardens where our grandmothers and widows could go and produce more food. Lastly, we just launched a very exciting program, starting with life skills and discipleship for our young boys that just left school. As we focus on the homes of the most vulnerable families in our communities and making sure that their homes are safe and secure. When the seed of hope falls onto good soil, it produces a rare harvest of braveness and faith. We still see the same crisis that everybody else sees, but it is as if we can see it from a completely different angle. Maybe that's why David and Goliath's story is so amazing. David, only a shepherd boy, walked onto the battlefield, and the whole of Israel were paralyzed, choked, unfruitful to cope with the pressures of Goliath abusing, terrorizing them. But David looked at that, understanding God's faithfulness, said to the king, "Don't lose any sleep on this giant. I will fight him." You know, the more astonishing words followed that was that David actually ran towards the problem. He ran towards Goliath. We can't choose what life is going to throw at us, but we can choose how we want to respond. I want to invite you, respond with us in Hands at Work to the watchword, proving our Father's faithfulness and producing a harvest even in the midst of a crisis.
www.handsatwork.org